Boom! Texas Longhorns pick up a commitment just 2 days before the Georgia game. It is Charlie Jilek, a tight end linebacker out of Portage, Michigan, was previously committed to Minnesota. Before that, he was committed to Central Florida. This is a guy that the Longhorns like a lot. He's coming in on an official visit in 2 weeks for the Arkansas game. Jerry, what do we know about Charlie Jilek and his pledge to the University of Texas?
Yeah, well, I think that Texas had a big recruiting meeting today, right? And I think they made some decisions on some kids, and this was obviously one of them. A guy that's an all-state football and all-state football player as a junior with reported over 100 tackles, also a quality basketball player. What's crazy, he just made his official visit to Minnesota on November 1st. So last, 2 weekends ago, he was at Minnesota for his official visit. He is an early enrollee. He will graduate from high school in December, thus no basketball his senior year. But a guy that's playing a lot of tight end and a lot of linebacker this year. And as you can see on the tape there, he's an impressive athlete. I mean, he has a self-reported 40 in the 4.5s, right? In the shuttle, about 4.2, 4.19. But an athletic kid. But the thing that I really like watching him, Bobby, is he's a physical guy. He is a physical guy in contact, but he also plays that linebacker position. So he's been committed to Power 4 schools as both a linebacker and a tight end. He is a physical, athletic kid. And I think it's actually a very interesting take by Texas, because we kind of wondered, are they going to take a tight end in this class? And it kind of went back and forth. But I think this kid's senior video kind of made a decision for them, and a guy that can also be a good special teams player.
Yeah, absolutely. Could have helped almost immediately on special teams. He is he looks like he could be an inline guy for Texas, because he is that physical, yet also be athletic enough to play some off the line of scrimmage as well, or even in the slot. Again, 6'5", 230 pounds or so, out of Portage, Michigan. As Jerry mentioned, he is the only tight end in this class. Texas passed on a couple of different guys, one of which they even brought in for an official visit, Kiwi Brown out of Corona, California. He ended up going to Boise State instead. But now they've gone in on this young man, Charlie Jilek, out of Portage, Michigan. Jerry, this brings Texas to 21 pledges.
Yeah,
we're literally less than a month away now from National Signing Day for high schoolers. Texas has done a great job recruiting the elite players, the Derek Coopers and Tyler Atkinsons and Vodney Cleveland. I mean, James Johnson, you name it, right? Dia Bell. Is this as well as some other players that they're going after right now? It feels like they're kind of filling out that class with guys that are senior offers that we talked about before. They're after Josiah Villamil, the defensive back you went and saw the other day at Fort Bend Travis. They're after Teray Davis, a young man out of Boulder, Colorado, defensive back. The two young men out of Georgetown, Texas, both Jet Walker, the running back, and then Sherrod, the offensive lineman. It feels like they're trying to mix those guys in that they really like as players for the University of Texas, along with recruiting some big name guys that are those super blue chips, like a Richard Anderson from Edna Carr or Bryson Martinez out of Gonzales, Louisiana, that you went and talked to. But as we watch this film, one thing that I like about it is how athletic he is and how he can fit. You can see him fitting in what Sark and Texas like to do as an athlete, and you can see him getting into Torrey Becton's strength and conditioning program and really blossoming, and not unlike what Gunnar Helm has done now with the Tennessee Titans after 4 years with Sark.
He's got a little twitch to him. This is not a kid without twitch as an athlete. But, yeah, I mean, look, I think the other thing that came out of today with the new offers going out after the big recruiting meeting in Austin was this class may be a little bigger than anticipated. And is that going to be a sign of times in the portal coming up? But, I mean, look, if you add a second running back to this class, you add two more high school offensive linemen in this class, two high school defensive backs if you can get the two you want. You adding a tight end now, adding that fourth defensive lineman. suddenly, and they want to add a linebacker if they can find the right guy. Suddenly, that class bumps up a couple more spots in terms of the number of guys that could sign with Texas on December 4th during that early signing period. So that's the thing that I look at from after today is this class may be a person or two bigger than originally thought.
Yeah, that's a good thought. Again, all state in football as a junior, all conference in basketball, 6'5", 230 pounds. We talk about this. He was committed to Central Florida, committed to Minnesota. Texas just offered another Minnesota commit, Jet Walker, the running back out of Georgetown. Jerry, we talk about these new offers and these senior offers. Is there anything that you think is a theme or a central idea behind some of these offers right now?
Yeah, I think I think with the ever-changing landscape of college football, with rev share now, I think it's going to be very interesting how people put their rosters together. And I think there's going to be more of some guys you really like upside as athletes that you have to develop, that maybe they come in and play more of a special teams role, and you develop those guys versus every guy is a guy that you expect to come in and compete for a spot right away, right? Or challenge the guys that come in from the portal. I think that's the big thing is how is the accumulation of talent going to look different in the program now versus how it's looked for the last 2 or 3 years. And I do think there's going to be a change due to rev share while everybody works through the rev share. What do you add to the NIL collective piece outside the rev share? Because that's clearly still going on. So I think that's the big thing for me is how are these rosters going to be put together? And I think Texas with the Gillet's commitment. And by the way, it's a guy who look, he has multiplicity with him.
Yep.
He's coming in as a tight end, but who's to say what he's going to end up playing?
Yeah, he's good and big and athletic. Those guys tend to find a way onto the field for your program if they have all of those traits. Again, Texas now at 21 commitments on the campaign, still a top 10 class, according to just about everybody out there. The Longhorns have a little more than 3 weeks now, I believe, until National Signing Day, coming up 3 weeks from this past Wednesday, I believe. Jerry, you still see Texas trying to finish in that top 5, top 10 range with this recruiting class?
Yeah, it'll depend on if they flip anybody late. Like in flip, everybody's looking at the LSU guys, right? A Richard Anderson or a Bryson Martinez. I mean, those are highly ranked guys. So if you start right there, I think some of the other guys will add to your class number, but it's the way the rankings go, so only so many guys can count in some rankings. Some people just look at it. They have rankings that are all over the places and how they calculate it. But I do think this, if Texas gets 27 or 28 guys in this class, they will sign a top 5 class. The question is, can they challenge to be like a top 3 or 4 class? The only way that'll happen is if they were to flip a big one like a Richard Anderson or Bryson Martinez.
Yep. And now they got to make sure they take care of and keep in contact with the big name guys. Tyler Atkinson, for example, CJ Vogel was at his practice earlier today. Texas is an interesting group right now from a recruiting perspective. Will be interesting to see how they finish out this recruiting class, as well as what they do in the portal. We'll be following it here at On Texas Football for you, so please check us out. Jerry, thank you for your time. Matthew, our producer behind the scenes, thank you as well. And one last thing to Charlie Jilek, hook 'em horns, buddy.